Hello my motor enthusiasts. Today's focus is on the Hungarian Grand Prix Friday practices, which brought us some thrilling developments. McLaren's Lando Norris topped the second practice, while Ferrari's Carlos Sainz led the first. Remarkably, the top 15 drivers are squeezed within just a second of each other, promising a fiercely competitive qualifying session ahead. While McLaren and Red Bull showed solid progress with their cars, Mercedes and Alpine are under pressure to tweak their setups overnight after a challenging day. The heat is on, quite literally, with drivers battling not just each other but also the sweltering conditions. Keep your engines revved for more updates as we dive deeper into this gripping race weekend. Hey everyone! You already know me, this is Enzo.
And this is William.
Join us daily right here on F1 Motor Fever podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss our high-speed updates. Full throttle! Moving on to McLaren's performance in today's practices at the Hungarian Grand Prix, Lando Norris really set the pace by topping the second practice session. It's been overall a promising day for them, even though Norris mentioned the grip felt a bit low. They're planning to address this overnight to secure a good position for tomorrow's qualifying.
Interestingly, the team dynamics were a bit mixed. Oscar Piastri had a strong start in the first practice but faced more challenges in the second. He and the team are keen to understand these discrepancies to fine-tune their strategy.
That's right. And Andrea Stella, the team principal, noted the importance of today's session for testing under these varied conditions. They experimented with different tyres and setups, which seem to have paid off, particularly as they navigate through extremely hot conditions.
It's quite surprising, isn't it? This level of competition and the tight gaps between the drivers, just a second separates the top 15, and the top 8 are within half a second. It's shaping up to be an electrifying qualifying session tomorrow.
Absolutely, it demonstrates how fierce the competition is right now. Each team is pushing boundaries, and even some of the midfield teams are stepping up, making significant progress. This season continues to amaze with its unpredictability and intense rivalry.
With this level of performance and the strategic nuances being so crucial, tomorrow's qualifying is undoubtedly going to be a spectacle. Let's see how these teams translate today's learnings into tomorrow's crucial sessions.
Just a quick detour, folks, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us keep creating high-quality content for free. And don't forget to share it with your mates too. Remember, we're live every day here on F1 Motor Fever podcast. On race weekends, we have special episodes. And Thursday morning, that's when our extra-long special episodes drop.
Brilliant. Spot on, your likes really matter. Now, let's get back on track.
Today's practice sessions brought some interesting updates from the teams, particularly Red Bull. They seem quite positive about the upgrades they brought to the Hungarian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen mentioned a good start but noted that the second practice was a bit disrupted by a red flag. Sergio Perez also felt it was one of the better Fridays he's had in terms of comfort with the car setup.
That does sound promising for Red Bull. But what about Ferrari? Carlos Sainz topped the first session and was third later on, but I hear Charles Leclerc had a bit of a mishap.
Yes, that's right. Ferrari had a mixed day. Charles Leclerc crashed in the second session, which obviously hampered their progress. It's a bit unusual to hear about Leclerc having such troubles. Let me just quickly verify that. I'll give our channel reporter a bell to confirm. Hello, all good? I'm here just going over today's practice sessions. There's a point I'm unsure about. Did Charles Leclerc actually crash during the second session, or is that an exaggeration? Right. Got it. Cheers, catch you later. Hanging up now. Well, it turns out the crash did happen. Leclerc lost control and couldn't set a meaningful lap time afterwards. Such incidents can really throw a spanner in the works for the team's weekend plans.
Indeed, that's quite a setback. It will be interesting to see how Ferrari bounces back from this in the qualifying. With the field being so tight, every second will count.
Absolutely, and with the temperatures playing such a crucial role, all teams will need to be on their toes with tyre strategies and car setups. Tomorrow's final hour of practice before the qualifying will be crucial for everyone. Moving on from Ferrari's mixed fortunes, let's talk Mercedes. They've expressed that today wasn't their best day either. Lewis Hamilton mentioned that the setup didn't feel right and they weren't on top form. However, their long-run data was decent, indicating that while their single-lap pace might not be up to scratch, they do have competitive endurance.
That's quite a situation for Mercedes. Could you give us some examples of how these conditions might affect car performance more broadly?
Certainly. Let's consider the impact of high temperatures like those we're seeing in Budapest, which have soared above 35 degrees Celsius. Such heat affects tire degradation significantly. Tires perform differently depending on the track temperature, and excessive heat can lead to higher wear rates and less grip. This means teams need to be astute in their tire management strategies, possibly opting for more conservative approaches or frequent changes to avoid performance drop-off during the race. Moreover, high ambient temperatures can strain the car's cooling systems. Teams might need to open up the bodywork for more cooling, which, although helps in managing engine and brake temperatures, can adversely impact the car's aerodynamics. This balancing act between cooling and maintaining optimal aerodynamic efficiency is crucial and can make the difference in a team's weekend performance.
It sounds like these teams have their work cut out for them. Adjusting to the track and weather conditions seems almost as important as the race itself.
Absolutely. The dynamic nature of Formula One means that adaptation is key. While the teams like Mercedes may not have hit the ground running today, the work they put in overnight and their ability to pivot strategies based on today's data will be vital for their performance in qualifying and on race day. Moving to Haas, it seems they've been up against it with tire degradation challenges. Oliver Bearman mentioned it's the hottest track he's experienced, and Kevin Magnussen also noted a pickup in pace during the cooler conditions of the second practice. Interestingly, Haas's team principal, Ahao Komatsu, pointed out that severe brake issues in the first practice limited their data gathering significantly.
Just to clarify, it's Ahao Komatsu, not Ahao. Easy slip there.
Oh, thanks for catching that. My apologies for the mix-up. Ahao Komatsu indeed. It's important to get these details right, especially when discussing the key figures behind the scenes.
Absolutely, and speaking of details, it's interesting to see how much the track temperature can impact performance. The track temperature mentioned was 58 degrees Celsius. That's extremely challenging, not just for the drivers but for the entire race strategy.
Indeed, those temperatures can transform a race weekend. It forces teams to adapt quickly, changing tire strategies and even how they manage the car's cooling systems. It's a testament to the complexity of Formula One, where even a few degrees can change the competitive landscape.
It certainly puts a premium on preparation and adaptability. With such a tight field, as Nico Hülkenberg mentioned, every small advantage needs to be seized.
And with overtaking being tricky at this circuit, starting positions in the race become even more crucial. It'll be fascinating to see how the team's strategies unfold in the final practice and then in qualifying. Turning our focus to Alpine, they seem to be grappling with several challenges. Esteban Ocon, who always enjoys the Hungaroring, mentioned a notably difficult practice on Friday. The team experimented in both sessions but hasn't quite nailed the setup yet, struggling with balance and grip on both short and long runs. Despite a slightly better feel on high fuel, the entire package needs refining if they're to be competitive this weekend. Pierre Gasly also echoed the sentiment of challenge, stating the high temperatures were tough and the car didn't feel right. Alpine will be relying heavily on simulator work back at the base tonight to troubleshoot these balance and setup issues. It's crucial they find the car's sweet spot to leverage any advantage in the upcoming sessions.
It sounds like Alpine has a mountain to climb. With the temperatures pushing the drivers and the cars to their limits, how significant is this simulator work in such conditions?
It's absolutely vital. Simulators allow teams to run through countless scenarios and setups without physical limitations or time constraints. This means they can theoretically perfect their car's balance and setup for the actual conditions expected on the track. With the field as tight as it is, finding even a minor improvement can make a substantial difference on race day. Meanwhile, over at VCARB, Daniel Ricciardo had a more positive day. After a rocky start in the first practice, the second session saw improvements with Ricciardo feeling much happier with the car's balance and fuel performance. He ended the day in the top 10, which is a good sign for the team. They plan to make some fine-tuning overnight, aiming to maintain this upward trajectory.
It's intriguing, isn't it? While some teams are struggling to find their footing, others are fine-tuning what already seems to be working well for them.
Indeed, it's a testament to the dynamic nature of Formula One. Teams and drivers must adapt quickly to the evolving conditions and their own vehicle's performance. As we've seen today, the difference between frustration and satisfaction can be very thin, often hinging on small, incremental improvements. Tomorrow promises to be another exciting chapter as each team translates their learnings into practice for the qualifying rounds. Shifting our attention to Yuki Tsunoda and the team, today was a mix of highs and lows. Starting off strong in the first practice, Tsunoda faced challenges in the second session with a front suspension setup issue that couldn't be resolved in time. This meant his second practice was far from ideal, missing out on critical track time.
That's quite the setback, especially when track time is so precious. How significant is such a disruption in a practice session for a driver's preparation?
It's hugely significant. Missing a session like FP2 means losing out on valuable data and the chance to test adjustments. The driver also loses the rhythm and confidence that comes from consistent laps. However, Yuki's team remains upbeat about their overall performance and are hopeful to rectify these issues swiftly. On the brighter side of their garage, Daniel seems to have had a more fruitful day. Alain Permanet, the racing director, mentioned that Daniel was quite pleased with his car's performance, finding it quick and competitive. This kind of positive feedback is crucial as it boosts the team's morale and sets a strong foundation for the rest of the weekend.
It's a stark contrast within the same team, isn't it? One side grappling with technical difficulties while the other is making strides.
Absolutely, and that's the nature of the sport. Formula One isn't just about speed and skill, it's equally about overcoming mechanical and technical challenges. As we've seen today, these challenges can vary widely even within the same team. It's all about how quickly and effectively a team can respond to these situations that often defines their success in a race weekend.
With qualifying on the horizon, all teams will be looking to iron out any issues and fine-tune their setups. It'll be interesting to see how much progress can be made overnight and how it translates into performance on the track.
Indeed, the next sessions will be critical. As we move closer to qualifying, every minute in the garage and every lap on the track counts. Teams will be working tirelessly to ensure their cars are as prepared as they can be, setting the stage for what promises to be an exhilarating race day. William, what's the word on the street, internet-wise?
Right, listen to this. A user named Alatar Palando posted about Hamilton saying Schumacher has liberated others by coming out. This comment seems to have sparked quite a discussion online.
That sounds quite momentous. What are people saying?
Well, Forever Addicted commented, quote, "Quite nice actually that Ralph has been happy enough to come out, and the reaction has more or less been meh. Don't mean it in a bad way, but hopefully it's more proof that people don't see it as an issue anymore," unquote. They added that it probably helps that he's retired but hoped it would encourage others still in the sport.
Indeed, the less of an issue it is, the better, right?
Exactly. Another user, Skeeter1020, reflected on a past interview with Lewis Hamilton. Quote, "He didn't want it to be a big thing. He didn't want it to be a thing at all, that it should be completely irrelevant and something that isn't even mentioned," unquote.
Sounds like Hamilton's philosophy is all about normalizing, not sensationalizing.
Spot on. And then there's Red Not Reed, who remarked on the bravery it took for Ralph, considering the real man culture of motor racing. Quote, "Props to him. Balls of titanium." And I agree, it has been a pleasant surprise that the response has been, "Huh? Okay then," unquote.
It's heartening to see such reactions, demonstrating a shift towards acceptance and normalcy in the sporting world.
It certainly is. And then the thread took a humorous turn with users like I Am Every and Eels making jokes about the testosterone-driven aspect, followed by others chiming in with more banter.
Sometimes a bit of humor helps lighten the discussion on serious topics like these.
Absolutely. It shows the community can handle sensitive topics in a mature yet light-hearted manner. Overall, it seems the sentiment on this matter is increasingly positive, which is a great sign for sports and beyond.
Thanks for tuning into F1 Motor Fever podcast today. We've covered a variety of topics, from the technical nuances of Formula One practices to the cultural shifts within the sport. It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you. Remember to subscribe and activate notifications so you won't miss out on our future discussions. Your engagement keeps our spirits high, so share, like, and comment.
Absolutely, and who knows what we'll be discussing next? It could be anything from race strategies to the latest developments in car technology. Keep your ears peeled. And while you're at it, tell your mates about us, it makes for a splendid bit of banter.
And we truly appreciate every listen, every like, and every comment. It's your enthusiasm that fuels our passion for Formula One and makes every episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast a joy to produce.
So, keep the conversation going, and we'll keep bringing you the juiciest bits of the racing world. Remember, we're here every day, delivering the freshest updates and analyses.
Pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road, our channel's content is pure gold. Looking forward to having you join us again on the next episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast.